77, 277, 224 interchange was a key component of our overall Akron Beltway corridor improvement.
Overall need for this project was determined during a Akron Beltway planning study. It was showing heavy traffic congestion and it needed some safety improvements and also some infrastructure improvements. This location in 77 was determined to be a bottleneck for the overall Akron Beltway.
That study that we started back in 13 identified that this segment coming actually out south of the Beltway was the key to the entire Beltway. The freeway network in Akron essentially creates a box around Akron, and without this improvement, any of the other traffic and the lane additions that we would have done around the Beltway wouldn't have been able to get out of the Beltway without this segment of 277. So it was a very crucial component to the overall corridor.
Part of the project was to widen 77 to solve some of those congestion problems. We added a lane in each direction on 77 in the project limits. We also widened the shoulders, design standard. We did have a couple exceptions just at the Killian Road and the Schwartz Road overhead bridges. We did a performance-based design on that, reduced the shoulders so that we could save those structures because they were in good condition. We also designed for continuity through northbound 77 to improve the safety. 77 to 77 to 224 interchange ramps. We added those to be 2-lane ramps for the interchange to improve safety and reduce the congestion. We also had over 16,000 linear feet of noise wall to the project, and we also replaced the Tuscarawas Bridge, the main line 77 bridge over the Tuscarawas River, and we widened the Warner Road main line 77 bridge over Warner Road bridge to accommodate the lane additions on 77. Another portion of the project was to meet the vertical clearance standard for the Warner Road bridge, so we lowered Warner Road to meet the vertical clearance. A lot of coordination with Summit County and also the stakeholders around the area with closing Warner Road to be able to lower.
The design of the project itself was actually pretty smooth, worked well with district all along, workshops to set minor details and geometries and mains of traffic phasing. We knew there was a design build project occurring on 76 and 77 through Akron. It was actually one of the projects that came out of our Beltway study. We'd coordinated with the preliminary designer for the bidding documents of that. We had all the mains of traffic worked out, everything plodding along just great. We got to a few months before stage 3. And unfortunately, the first challenge came in at the sale date got moved up a year.
We had a very aggressive plan development schedule for the project. The funding for the project was available, so we sort of escalated the schedule so that we could meet the deadline to file this project and get it designed to take advantage of the funding for the project. GPD really expedited their design, get us the plans for review and get it through the process.
Accelerated reviews on the district, a lot of over-the-shoulder type discussions because there's just wasn't time to follow the proper process. But district was great. Working with Dana was seamless. We went through it. It was a little bit of heartburn and a little bit of pain, but it turned out great. The next challenge was as we were bidding the process, the design build project had sold. As is often the case, the mains of traffic plan that is determined is not the plan, it's a plan, and the contractor decided to rephase the design build project. Unfortunately, that phasing tied into our 277 interchange. We had to redesign the mains of traffic, rephase the north half of the job, change phasing around, change number of lanes being maintained in what phase. Very aggressive schedule to meet the sale date. But again, District 4 was great. Worked through all of that with them, met the sale date, moved on into construction. Everything going fine. Construction went very, very well. And then the last curveball came. And that's a coal mine under I-77. It actually extends to the west under Firestone Country Club. The coal mine itself is under the pavement, probably 6 to 8 to 10 feet of cover from the top of the mine void to the pavement surface. So that was kind of shocking and something that needed addressed immediately, obviously. So we worked with the district to come up with a grouting plan, working with central office of Geotech, Office of Structures, put all that together. The plan got grouted in the last phase of construction, and it's open to traffic, and it looks great. District had obviously had personnel in it and had sent a bunch of pictures around. It was kind of interesting. One of the picked was a jug. It was an old clay jug. What, in my mind anyway, what you think an old moonshine jug, from back in the hills. But they actually found it in the mine. It was kind of interesting. Dana and I have worked together for years. She's moved on to District 12 since the project has been built, so working with her on other projects in other districts. But relationship with her through the process was great.
Partnering with GPD, managing the project with Mark Grossman, really made my job as a project manager at ODOT easy. They have a client-first mindset, which really created a trusting and reliable partnership between the two.
Obviously, I've got a large team. GPD takes it very serious. We've been doing highway projects since the early 60s. With ODOT, our entire company takes it serious. The entire district takes it serious.
Strong communication, timely responses, and also working together to solve problems when the project challenges came up were some of the key elements to really make
The previous two, if you remember, was Dan Depto.
So good.
Dan retired, which I was sad to see go because I've worked with Dan forever. And
Reunited 'cause we understood.
we had that 30-year relationship, and then he quit calling, he quit writing. We used to have this really tight bond, and he just ghosted me. Dan, this is the 14th time I've called you. Where are you? I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I'm over you. I'm out. Dana, thankfully, was there. She picked it up. It's been great. So, Dan, if you see this on YouTube, sorry, buddy, but I've moved on. You telling me Dana has got a second project?
Yeah, this isn't the only one.
She's cheating on me? That's... Dan, it's Mark. I'm sorry. I take it all back.